My name is Abigail Evans, and today I'm going to talk to you about the built-in accessibility features for Windows 10 using my computer and Google Slides. So for these Google Slides, I'm going to be talking to you about the features that can help individuals with disabilities use their computer in a much easier and faster way. Most of these features will include for ease of access settings, vision features, hearing features, and your interaction features through Windows 10. When you search, on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen usually is a search bar that you can search for ease of access settings. When you search those, you're going to find this screen. On the left-hand side of your screen, it'll say ease of access, which is circled in red on your screen. Here I have it circled in blue. It shows on the left-hand side of your screen the ease of access features. These include your vision, your hearing, and your interaction features. For vision, you'll find display, cursor and pointer size, your magnifier, color filters, high contrast settings, and the narrator. For hearing, you'll find audio and closed captions. For the interaction features, you'll find speech, keyboard, mouse, and eye control. To get us started, we'll talk about the vision features, which I just said before, that you'll have display, cursor and pointer size, your magnifier, color filters, high contrast, and narrator. To get us started, let's talk about display. For your display, you can make the text bigger by dragging that little blue line from smaller to bigger to find the right size that fits your eyes. Don't forget to hit apply, because most of the time if you don't hit apply, it's not going to work. Make everything bigger by changing the resolution from 100% to whatever size you need. You can make things brighter also. If the screen's too dim, you can make it brighter. And then simply, you can personalize your windows through animations, transparency, and scroll bars. You can allow notifications to display themselves for longer periods of time or shorter periods of time. And you can also make it if you want to show your desktop background image. The settings you see right now are those that I have on my computer. So right now, I don't need a lot of things when it comes to my display. For cursor and pointer size, you can, again, by using this blue line, make the size bigger or smaller depending on what you need to see. You can choose the pointer size and color based on pictures. You can also change the touch feedback by just turning it on and off. Again, these features are what I have set on my computer currently. Next, we have the magnifier. Your magnifier will zoom in on parts of your display and can run in full screen in a separate window or as a lens that follows your mouse pointer around the screen. So there's several different ways you can use the magnifier. First, you got to turn it on if you need to use it. You can turn it on by going into your settings, finding the magnifier, and clicking this off button to on, or by hitting the Windows logo key plus the plus button to turn on, and then to turn it off, you can either go back in, hit the button, or use the Windows logo key plus the escape button to turn it off. You can change your zoom level. You can also change the zoom level by using your keys on there, and usually your settings will tell you where it is, just like mine do right here. You can also set your magnifier to start after sign in or before anyone signs in, so you can use it right away. You can collapse the magnifier to a floating transparent magnifying glass, smooth edges of images and text, or invert the colors. You can also change the magnifier view from full screen to in a window or following the mouse cursor. You can also have the magnifier follow the mouse, not just the mouse cursor, but the keyboard focus, text insertion point, or use the narrator cursor, which we'll talk about when we get to the narrator portion of Vision. You can also tell the magnifier to keep the mouse cursor within the edges of the screen, like I have here. Also with Vision are color filters. Color filters make photos and colors easier to see by applying a color filter to your screen. First, remember to turn it on if it's off, by that little button tells you to turn it off or turn it on, or by using the keyboard, the Windows key, Control, and C to toggle this filter on or off. Then you'll select your filter. You should always select your filters that you want to see. So inverted, it reverses the colors on the display. Keep your grayscale. You can have an inverted grayscale, or select a color blindness filter to make the 9 colors on the wheel more distinct. So when you click each one of these buttons, it'll change the color wheel you see here to different colors that better fit people with color blindness. For our high contrast standards, what you see right now are standard colors. I have nothing done with it. I have high contrast turned off on my computer. Next, we're going to go into the 4 different types. We have high contrast number 1, high contrast number 2, high contrast black, and high contrast white. When you hit that little button that says turn off to make it turn on, you can choose high contrast number 1. Here you can see I have it turned on and the button's green now, and some of the text is yellow. On the right, you can see all the different colors that you're going to find when you turn the high contrast number 1 on. I personally think these colors are weird. I need to have a white background. You can choose to have a black background, just like in number 1 and number 2, as also as high contrast black, which you will see next. So high contrast number 2, it changes that blue button, that green button we saw before, to blue, as well as the text is now green. And then again on that picture on the right, you can see what colors it has changed to. Now, high contrast black changes the colors even more. Now our text is white on a black background. High contrast white. Now, I don't mind this. It is made black text on a white background, and selected text or buttons are purple. This isn't too bad. It's a little bright for my eyes, but it works. I tend to use this setting at work when I need to print something. Our printer does not always like my settings, so when I go in and want to print something, I'll change it to high contrast white, and I won't get as much of a black background. Seems weird, but that's how our printer reads it. For the narrator has several different parts that you can include or change. Startup options, voice personalization, change the content you hear, keyboard settings, narrator cursor, braille, and sync settings. So first, if you want to use this, remember to go in and turn it on, or use the Windows logo key plus Control plus Enter to turn on or turn off your narrator. Startup options basically tells you that you can tell the narrator to turn on after you sign in or before you sign in. So as soon as you open your computer and start to sign in, it's going to be telling you what to do. But if you don't need them to tell you what to do, wait till after you sign in. Voice personalization, you can change the narrator's voice to something more pleasing to you. So you can change it from Microsoft David to anybody else, or you can just change the voice speed, pitch, or volume of the chosen voice if you need something a little different but you like that specific voice. You can also change the audio output device, whether it's the computer's headphones, speakers, specific things that you want the narrator's voice to come through on. You can also choose if you want the voice to emphasize formatted text or turn on annotation pauses. With the narrator's voice, you can change the content you hear by controlling the level of detail provided for the text, buttons, and controls, or choose to hear words, punctuation, navigation, and modifier keys as you type. So if you look at the picture, everything that you can check that you want to hear. So if it's checked, you want to hear. You can hear characters as you type, hear words as you type, speak narrator errors, hear audio cues when you perform an action, hear hints on how to interact with controls and buttons. You can also change the level of detail through the drop-down menu. By these drop-down menus, you can change the level of text the narrator provides for the buttons and other controls, or just adjust the order of context reading for the buttons and other controls. For keyboard settings, you can change the layout and set modifier keys. You've got two different layouts, a standard layout, which is usually your default, and a legacy layout that uses shortcuts of previous versions. Once you've turned on the keyboard and you want to use it, you can change the settings. You can also lock the narrator key so you don't have to press it for each command. And on the touch keyboard, activate keys when I lift my finger. The narrator cursor is the tool you use to navigate the narrator. For this, you can change how you want to see the narrator cursor, if you want to see it on the screen or not. You can have the text insertion point follow the narrator cursor when on editable text. You can sync the narrator cursor in system focus, and you can read and interact with the screen using the mouse. I've never used the narrator on the computer, so this is the standard boxes that are usually checked for a narrator, I'm assuming. With Braille, you must download and install this application before you use it, and the Braille application must be used with a Braille display of your choosing. So down here in the right-hand corner is just a Braille display that I found online. And to use this, you have to download and install the Braille app before you begin using Braille with the narrator. Sync settings just tells you that you can sync all current settings before sign-in, so anyone who signs in on your computer has the same settings. Hearing features, again, includes audio and closed captions. For audio, you can adjust the sound settings to become more pleasing. Just like how you can with the visual settings in your display, you can make the sound more pleasing to your ears. You can make it easier to hear by changing the volume. You can change the device or app volume in specific apps or devices. You can turn on mono audio that combines left and right audio channels into one channel. And you can show audio alerts visually. Again, these are just the current settings I had on my computer. Closed captions. There are a lot of different things you can do with closed captions to make them also visually appealing to your eye. Not only if you can't hear the words being said on your screen, you can change them to see them. And if you have few visual Changes. You can change the color of the caption, transparency, style, size, effects. You can also change the caption background color and background transparency. With this, you can also dim the window content, which can add a text background to improve contrast and make text easier to read. So this is all about if you can't hear the words, you can add words to the screen to see them. And if you can't see the words, you can make the words easier to be read. Interaction features. You have speech, keyboard, mouse, and eye control. Speech, used instead of typing, can make your device easier by using speech instead of typing, obviously. So using speech to text. Turn it on by hitting the Windows logo key and the letter H. You can also use the little microphone button on your screen. If you click that, it'll be ready for you to start speaking so it can hear you. Cortana on a Windows 10 or Microsoft computer is the equivalent to Siri used on Apple iOS. Cortana is your digital assistant. She can help with things like setting reminders, opening apps, finding facts, and sending emails and texts. The more you use Cortana, the more personalized your experience will be. Down here where you see circled is that little microphone button that you can use to speak to Cortana. This is my search bar that I talked to you about in the first few slides about ease of access settings. You can type that in this search bar. You can also speak it into the search bar when you want to find something or have Cortana do something for you. Speech dictation. With using Cortana, you need to dictate your speech. Cortana will dictate what you're saying and put it into the search engine. Remember, just like anything else, if it's got an off button and you want to use it, turn it on. You can also use the Windows logo key plus Control plus S to toggle speech recognition on or off. Use speech dictation to use your device hands-free and use your speech to control your device. For your on-screen keyboard, obviously you got to go in and turn it on, or press the Windows logo key plus Control plus the letter O to turn it on or off. This picture to the right, this big picture, is what my on-screen keyboard looks like for Windows 10 on my Microsoft computer. On a keyboard, you also have sticky keys, toggle keys, and filter keys. You can use these keys to make your keyboard easier to use. Sticky keys means that you can press one key at a time for keyboard shortcuts, where toggle keys play a sound whenever you press caps lock, num lock, or scroll lock. And filter keys ignore brief or repeated keystrokes and change keyboard repeat rates. This is based on how you type or the keys that you press. Anything that has an on-off switch usually has a keyboard function to also turn it on or off. Keyboard shortcuts are used to help your keyboard become faster for navigation. Here you can see that you can turn on or off the underline access keys when available, or use the print screen button to open screen snipping. For the mouse, you can use your mouse to make it easier to see and control the mouse cursor. So this little cursor that comes around that you're seeing right now, you can change that. Control your mouse with a keypad, so you can turn on the mouse keys to use the numeric keypad to move the mouse pointer. So if you want to use if you want to control your mouse with a keypad, remember to turn it on. Eye control. Just like when using Braille, eye control needs to have an attachment to your computer. So in this right side picture, you see this really fancy little eye control device that lets you use eye tracking technology to control the mouse, typing using on a screen keyboard, and communicate with people using text-to-speech. So when you're using this eye control, you don't need a regular mouse. Your eyes are doing it for you, and this is controlling your screen. If you would like to type, you have to have your on-screen keyboard up, and you'll use your eyes to click on letters to make words. Just have a little extra feature that I have found on my computer that involves Microsoft and Windows 10. It's a little bit of combined features. Using Microsoft Word, if you have a specific portion of text that you want read aloud to you without narrator being turned on, so you have not turned narrator on, but you want something read aloud to you, find that section of text, highlight, right-click, and copy. Go to a Word document, paste it there, then go to the little review section that you see on the top, as shown in that bottom left picture, and you'll find the tab that says Read Aloud. So I found the Itsy Bitsy Spider lyrics online. I copied and pasted them into my Word document, and I hit Read Aloud to have the document read to me. All of these features are great for individuals with disabilities or cognitive disabilities that can help students or adults navigate through electronics. Specifically for Windows 10, all of these features are great, and they all go hand in hand with each other. You can use narrator, you can use speech to text. They're all great features. I hope this video was helpful and you understood all parts of Windows 10 accessibility features.